On the one hand, I completely agree with you, but on the other hand, I also think that there's some really exciting opportunities because of digital conditions where you could even cut out the person entirely, which then brings them more safety, right? Because I still think face-to-face can be extremely dangerous if you are being followed and tracked, right? So I completely agree with you, but actually when I was interacting with hackers, and this is, again, a bit particular to the hacker world. This doesn't necessarily pertain to all sources who are not hackers. I was thrilled that I didn't have to meet with them face-to-face at some level. And when I did meet with this one person face-to-face, I was really ambivalent about it. We were incredibly careful. We coordinated off payphones, actually, in New York City. We didn't even use the digital tools, even though both of us knew these really well. And I think with a level of deep expertise and being quite aware of their limits, you can use them securely, but there's even a lot of dangers with them. But
Snowden came out, didn't he, and said, it was quite funny in a way, that Snowden has actually encouraged people to use digital communications at the same time as leaking them all, because he came out and said encryption works. And actually, there was kind of no more credible person to say that than Edward Snowden.
Right.
I think a lot of people drew comfort from that and started using Signal,
And this is, who here knows, it's maybe a little bit more of an American story, but who here knows about the Citizens Commission to expose the FBI? I have to tell the story.
Okay, go for it.
Very briefly. So 7 activists who were parents and physics professors decided to break into an FBI field office in Media, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yes.
And they trucked away, a bunch of files, and then they sent those files to journalists in the Washington Post and other places, NBC. And it's a remarkable story because the files had extensive information about FBI surveillance of activists, including informants who are everywhere. And then some of the journalists did extra work FOIA-ing the information related to the documents and found out about COINTELPRO, which was, again, this massive disinformation campaign against activists. They were never caught. Betty Metzger, a Washington Post journalist, had a relationship with them, and she waited until the statute of limitations expired to write an amazing book called The Burglar about them. Now, the chances of them getting caught were actually very high. But today, computer hackers can break into places and take information or have information that they got in other ways and get it to journalists in a more safe way. And so we're in this moment, actually, that I find very interesting precisely because people, unlike those 7 activists, can, if they're incredibly careful, get information to journalists where they don't put themselves in danger.